I think something to mention is there was a lot of mid laners banned in the last draft. So we saw Yone, Taliyah, and Azir all banned away. Be interested to see how things develop this time around. No surprise with the Pantheon banned away by T1. I wonder if we'll just get Pantheon Vi.
Oh, Vi
banned by NONGSHIM, so heavily targeting the jungle.
It's an interesting ban to be on blue side as well. But I don't think first pick Vi really works, and maybe you just don't want to deal with it. Sejuani going to be taking away one of Gideon's best, as the jungle pool is going to be the focus here.
Interestingly, opt to ban
maybe just a Taliyah ban and then just first pick Azir and call it a day.
Yeah, but maybe,
maybe you don't have to ban Taliyah.
Maybe we just get the Azir ban if the Taliyah ban comes through. We'll see. I do feel like that Sejuani, with Trundle being so entrenched in the meta, we don't see it as often. But then maybe they're expecting this Trundle third ban.
Maybe.
Which I feel like is a bit weaker now that the Sejuani has been picked up. But now, both Taliyah and Azir are up and available. And I feel like NONGSHIM might be of the mindset of, oh, we'll just take Taliyah and they can have Azir. But I think T1 are fine with that every single time.
Yeah, absolutely. Well,
they banned the Azir themselves, so not willing to give it open. This is how much value they put into the Azir that they won't risk giving it over to NONGSHIM.
Yeah, and this is how much the Taliyah matchup has kind of fallen from grace as well, where you just don't even bother with the Taliyah half of it. Just get rid of the Azir.
They did buff Azir on this patch, which was crazy.
It was
for the LCK.
Very strange.
I mean, I feel like they could have nerfed him and they still would be picking Azir, but the fact they buffed him,
yeah,
definitely.
Man, there's a lot of, it's like 5 jungle bans.
Yep, a Senna first pick is a little bit bold.
Yeah.
Some of the picks we've seen do well in the center are like the Corki. We've even seen the Smolder occasionally be picked up into it, but I feel like very cards up on the table with this one being picked up so early.
It does show your hand a lot, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think, Senna obviously scales extremely well, has that long range, but I think the lane, if you're into a weaker trading lane, she does really well because you can just frequently trade sustain up, but there are some lanes she gets bullied out by very hard.
Well, we're looking at some DNF strats here as the Nocturne is going to be locked in.
I feel like this is... Because the thing is, I've talked about this before, is that if you E is the Senna, he can't target the Senna with the ultimate. He pops you pop the E, he can't fly to you.
But if you time... If they are going to play the Orianna, which they are, if you time the shockwave well enough and you see where the Senna is and you just target someone that's just behind her, you can still hit her on the way.
Yeah, that sounds ambitious. It also sets up, you could go like Senna Tom potentially if you really felt you were that concerned about this Nocturne Orianna combo.
You could also lock in Scion Kindred and then just stack all over the place, Scion Kindred, Viger, what did we say? And then and we need Nasus.
Would be a lot of stacks.
It would be 2 top laners as well, which I don't think is necessary.
But I think ultimately, NONGSHIM, they have this long-range pick. T1 are picking things they want to close the distance with, and NONGSHIM are like, cool, we need to defend our Senna. Find a way to do this.
Man.
Go in for the Galio Viego. So a lot of skirmishing power between these two. You have the setup with the Galio, the CC to try and get a reset for the Viego. Does mean if this Nocturne dives in, you want to ult on top and hopefully finish him off so that the Viego can get a reset and get momentum. It means that these fights are going to be so explosive. That first initial kill will really dictate who it goes in favor of. And we'll see T1 opting for the Ambessa for Doran. Taking that one with, the Gwen gone, the Rumble gone, and also the opportunity to ban away some top lane picks if they're really concerned. Although, I wonder in this situation if you do get rid of the Tahm Kench, if you are worried that's going to come through as something into the Nocturne Orianna. Alistar's something we've seen paired with Senna a lot. It does give you a pretty passive lane, but if you get them out of lane, they're really strong. But you're on red side, so you can have first choice to the Alistar, so I think T1 don't necessarily need to ban away that. They do get rid of the Camille, which is something we saw picked into Ambessa when she first came into the meta, and also would sync really well with the Galio, so I think that makes a ton of sense to ban that away.
Yeah, that's a good one. Would have also kind of fit with T1's composition because we see it paired with Nocturne all the time as well. But the Caitlyn going to be removed here. And the Alistar was banned away. I was wondering whether they might even consider like a Shen ban or something like that, just because Lehens loves it so much. There's a bit of a global vibe going on here for NONGSHIM.
Yeah, we saw Senna Alistair so much at EWC and with a really high win rate. So kind of makes sense they banned that one away. It does make me wonder what Keria are opting to take specifically in this Senna, if they are planning to try and bully it out in the lane. The Thresh going to get banned away, obviously respecting the Aphelios Thresh that came out against Gen.G to great effect in that final game. We'll see what they have to go for. I think it'll be very... The thing is, I think NONGSHIM have the opportunity to kind of respond to a degree because they'll telegraph a good amount of what they're going for with this first pick.
Yeah. Show us what kind of lane this is going to be.
Available, which is obviously a big favorite of Guma. I think the Braum could end up being like a Braum Lucian, but does have early lane pressure. But I think it's a lane with, you know, with the range Jhin. You could evade. And yeah, I think the Jhin is a better choice here. You know,
counter pick for support is also so powerful, right?
Yeah, I think it makes it harder for Lehens to make a pick here. I think the Jhin, when you have this like dive in focus with the Nocturne Orianna, the Jhin can just open up with his ultimate pretty comfortably. And that disruption caused by the rest of your team, you can just open up on. NONGSHIM looking at top lane options, I think Renekton makes a lot of sense. You know, obviously a lot of power early on, although they opt to go instead of the Xante, playing full peel. This is very much eggs in the Senna basket. Trying to have
I feel like it's eggs in the Viego basket, personally.
Well, that too.
At least they do have two threats kind of already represented in the Viego and the Senna. And Galio does do a fair bit of damage here. Tahm Kench going to be the lock-in. For Lehens, one of his old favorites.
Yeah, they do end up going for that, so I think that one was something that maybe T1 probably expected, could have banned away. It does make me interested to see what they have prepared to play into that. If they...
Big Bad Brad?
I'm thinking they could go the Bard, they could go something like a Nico.
Oh man, Nico's still up.
Yeah.
That's kind of crazy. I feel like that's a no-brainer. It'd be so much power. Don't scare us like that. Come on, man. Keria instead going to do his signature pick here. Recently picked up a skin on this one, I'm pretty sure, although just a little bit too hard. We've been seeing it for many years, for quite a long time, so I guess we already know. We'll just have to see whether T1 can drive this one to a 2-0, whether the Noodles are going to be able to cook something up for us and bring us to a third game, a 6-gamer on the last day of our first week here, of our very first round 3 here in the LCK, and it is at our LCK Roadshow, the T1 home ground as well. That is very, very fun. So we are going to be loading up onto the Rift very, very shortly. I think I have my, I normally have my cadence down, and I thought maybe I was lagging, but actually we are just taking a little bit longer getting into the game.
Building up the suspense.
Yeah.
Heating up the...
I was well and truly suspended.
Yeah, well, so
to get into the game. And I think there'll be fan chants. There's a guy yelling, but I don't think he's doing the fan chants. Okay, never mind. Oh no, they had the synopsis written up for us on the prompter, and now we don't have the synopsis anymore. Oh no, Control Z, so powerful.
Oh, I can't wait for you to... Sorry, I just want to say I can't wait for you to pronounce this. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Galileo Di Vincenzo?
Not that bit.
Oh, it still keeps going. Golly
you could do the whole thing, that whole name, in one go. You got to do the whole...
No, I'm not going to do that. Because there might be people from Italy that may not appreciate it, okay?
He'll be banned from eating pizza.
And he was... okay, astronomer, physicist, and engineer. And wasn't even, there was no dabbling in philosophy at all, so I was just a liar. Maybe that was a bit just Da Vinci. He did a bit of all of it.
Getting a little bit mixed up.
Yep. He was another Italian dude. These Italians were pretty good. Figuring out stuff. Okay, here we've got a little bit of a lane between Calyx and Faker. As Lehens already taking a fair bit of damage here towards this bottom side. Geo trying to get some damage down and does offer a fair bit back, but otherwise not too much to worry about. And here we go. I think we can put aside us getting a history lesson. And we can focus on whether or not T1 can find a 2-0, or whether it's NONGSHIM that can bring us to the full 6 on the day.
I think it really comes down to, I mean, it's a good start in the bot lane already. I mean, mid expectation is Faker's going to have prior on this matchup. Bot lane, it's really one of these matchups that are a little bit fickle because you can take a good amount of harass as Senator. We've seen it time and time before.
Yep.
But there's like a critical mass where you end up getting harassed a bit too much and you're not able to sustain through it. You get forced out of lane. You know, if you miss a few too many tongue lashes, you're not able to get ranged auto minions to reset your Q on center. So as long as Jiwoo and the Hens can hold off and avoid getting past that critical point, make sure the trades they take aren't too bad, they can just keep scaling up in this lane to get into a comfortable spot. The thing additionally you're comfortable about is you're playing into a Nocturne. So you don't have too many concerns about being ganked or having that extra jungle pressure until he's 6. I'll also say, you know, I was talking a little bit about this, you know, as we were coming out of draft, but I really feel like this NONGSHIM draft is kind of solidified as just try not to give Nocturne any comfortable options to ult.
There aren't very many of them, are there?
You have 2 champions that go, oh
god. Okay, Lehens is going to go in. He does find the knock-up onto Gumayusi, who's snared. Does have to cleanse that one off as the barrier is going to be used in exchange. But look at this. Lehens is just happily wandering amongst them. Oner and Gideon going to be fighting as now NONGSHIM do get the earlier track to try and find this. Good spell shield there from Oner as Gideon getting taken down very low. Lehens turning up will mean that the crab will be delivered to Gideon. Not to mention the fact that Calyx has a bit of control in this mid lane as well.
That immediate payoff, you know, the bouncing waves that come back, so you get extra help from Calyx, but also Jiwoo and Lehens getting a good trade bot, able to move up first and help their jungler a big boon. But yeah, as I was saying, both Gideon and Jiwoo can go invisible, and everyone else is a tank. So there's just not good targets to ult for Oner in this one. Unless, obviously, you get ahead and then you can just ult anyone you want. But, yeah, I feel like that's the direction NONGSHIM's draft went. And we'll see how things develop from here. But so far, the interactions between the Nocturne and the Viego early, I feel like Gideon's goal is just try and limit any camps you can from Oner. Slow down that level 6 if possible. You do have some decent setup in the lanes. We'll see if that actually comes to fruition and he finds some angles. As there is some CC in all 3. We do get that early swap coming out, though, towards the top side.
I feel like this swap is actually working out pretty well so far for NONGSHIM. As you can see, Lehens holding his position. Oh man, Gumayusi could be in trouble. Remember, no cleanse available. Keria going to turn up as there is the mystical journey, and that will just get him out.
Doesn't have to be in the flash there. Pretty big for Guma. Good moves from Keria to save his AD carry and save that summoner as well.
Cute little play from Lehens, though.
Also stops the recall of Lehens, who's on a ward. And is probably going to do it again.
Yep.
So now, Jiwoo is solo against Doran in the top lane, which we saw last game.
Oh dear.
And Doran is level 6 on Ambessa.
So I think that Jiwoo is going to just not be in vision for as long as he possibly can. You can see that is precisely what he decides to do. Doran does go back home.
Doran just reset in his TP back up with items, and he is into a level 4 Senna as a level 6 Ambessa.
And I don't think the champion names really matter. I'm worried about the player names that are in a lane by themselves. Okay. Kingen going to be running away from both. See, like we knew this was just going to happen, right? Doran's going to flash in. There's a solo kill. Like, what did we tell you?
It was so obvious. I mean, yes, we saw this last game, but also it's a level 6 Ambessa. What do you expect?
To die.
Dude, like, I mean.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what's the crazy thing as well? It's so easily avoidable if you just flash the ult.
Yeah,
flash the ult.
Yeah. Yeah.
The ult you're like, Lehens is like, hey buddy, sorry I'm gonna be a little bit late. I've been delayed. Keria's been a little bit of a hassle. Just play safe. Okay. Just flash the ult.
Yeah.
Doesn't flash the ult.
He definitely did not flash the ult. Or much of anything at all after that as well.
Just flash the ult.
Doran at least had to flash after him, so I guess there is something to be said about that. And Jiwoo has only died 1 time to Doran this game.
Yeah, to be fair.
And it was 2 in the last game.
Yeah, I just, you know.
Oh, Vega could be in a little bit of trouble here as Kingen looking to charge that ulti. Dissonance going to slow him down though as the shockwave comes in. Calyx might need to just... Yeah, okay, no, instead doesn't actually elect to use the ultimate, but Faker is now in trouble. The Colossal Smash comes down. Command Protect is going to be there, but another round of spells should be coming. He has Flash, but he doesn't actually use it. Faker able to escape is now Gideon getting scared, and he can understand why he does have to Heartbreak out. And NONGSHIM, oh man, I can feel it. The tempo vibes well and truly in T1's favor here.
Guys, why is Senna 1v1ing against Ambessa again? I'm wondering. Please, I need to know.
No, the rule is twice.
Oh, right. Yeah, of course.
Don't you remember? It's all right. Keria going to take a magical journey. Does find Lehens here, but Catfish I don't think is going to be dying or anything like that. Does eat some gray health, but not too much more is going to occur as Calyx just proxying momentarily.
If they can just get back, though, with health, so it will just be a plate over to Calyx. But in the meantime, I feel like they've kind of given up complete control over this top side.
Well, Doran going in against Jiu and Lehens. Another public execution, another possibly dead Jiu here as he does get the piercing darkness, keeps himself alive. The Dawning Shadow as the last turret shot comes in, but there are even more bullets on this map, and the curtains have been called on Jiu's life once again. He almost got his revenge, but he just doesn't quite manage to nail it as Calyx not going to be dying just yet either, as Gideon coming on over, gets the flash on in. Heroic entrance, Faker going to get knocked up and probably taken down here as he has no flash and no chance to get out. Gideon will get his first here of the game.
The tragic thing is I think Jiu played that passage of play about as well as he could.
Yeah.
But with no flash, when they throw everything at you, not really much you can do in that situation. Doran starts the fight. Ult comes down. Yeah, I guess just doesn't have time to E in response to Oner. Oner flies in, and then the side ult from Guma to finish him off.
Beautifully played there by Oner.
Oner and Doran are.
Yeah, nicely done. Guma just setting up the curtains and looking real nice. Picking up that kill.
And then here in this play, Faker without flash ends up a little bit overextended here. Calyx able to re-engage with the ultimate on the back of this stun.
A bit interesting that T1 were going for this play when they just finished overloading the top side of the map and knew that Gideon wasn't in the area, otherwise he may have been there for the fight. So a little bit odd, trying to bite off a little more than they could chew, potentially. Still going to be in the lead, though. So nothing too much to worry about. As you can see, Kingen with a slight CS advantage, but the gold lead is still going to be there as another Abyssal dive to come on through from Lehens, but not going to get the knock-up onto Gumayusi as Keria comes on over. Jiu needs to help out as this Catfish is sort of just running into two people. Captive Audience going to slow him down momentarily, and Keria keeping the fight up as there is the Devour going to get utilized. Flash out immediately, Grey Health consumed, and Keria magically journeys his way to safety. It's a lot of buttons now on cooldown, but nothing really much as a result.
A lot of things used there.
Yeah.
A lot of aggression coming out, but unable really to find things. Guma with the fancy feet, dodging pretty much everything from Lehens to able to get away. But now, no. Oh. Doesn't find him, but out. No ult from Lehens. So, Jiu potentially vulnerable again.
Yeah, there's a lot of souls over there as well. I really feel like Jiu could have just
I would have picked
grabbed those. Yeah, 100%.
Wouldn't be able to contain myself.
Nope. Stacking, man.
There's some people, right? There's different players. There's some who are like, look, I'm playing it. Oh, wait, we got some action.
Calyx may stop being alive as Dospringer is barely going to clip him, but never mind. Sometimes you get a phase rush and you're just fine.
There's some people who play stacking champs, like, yeah, it's part of the champion. I'll pick up some stacks, you know, I do my thing. And there's some who they know, right? They're the ones who will die for a Heartsteel stack just for the cool noise.
Oh, 100%.
They're the ones who are like, oh, there's a pedal under the enemy tower. Well, I've got to take it before they get it.
Do you remember when Rengar had his Bone Tooth necklace?
Yeah.
That was my favorite stacking. As Calyx, this is his least favorite moment. Never mind! He's going to turn it around. The Dawning Shadow comes in. Keria trying to keep Faker alive as the magical journey is unable to be taken by the metal ballerina, and Faker just goes down. That turn from NONGSHIM was gorgeous.
Definitely didn't expect that one, and Lehens finds a clutch moment to punish Faker. Calyx with the flash turnaround, and the ult from Jiu to get him out of a dicey situation. I will say though, T1 looking at the second dragon feels a little bit crazy they're able to get this one considering Fake is dead. And I think NONGSHIM agree. Moving over now.
Yep. The Catfish does not approve. And there is the flash in from Gideon. Actually, no, it was just a dash in from Gideon. Comes out of the mist and secures the Drake. So we've got Hextech Soul this game as well. There's going to be a very high value soul if we ever get there, but it's one dragon apiece as the dust settles. We also don't have Feats of Warfare locked down just yet either. 1 kill away on both sides. As Faker knows exactly where these NONGSHIM members are. The back is going to come on through. Calyx turning up once again. Keria also on vision. A lot of vision actually very accurately placed by both teams, meaning that it's a bit of information overload. There is the paranoia though. And Jiu, this time going to be able to move over to his teammates. Devour comes through from Lehens this time, and that will keep him alive. The flash out as Gideon looks for that reset. There is the tongue lash, and down goes the Nocturne. Feats of Warfare alongside it. As man, that Dustbringer coming out from Gideon was terrifying. Gumayusi going to be able to break those chains though, not getting scared. He just gets over the wall and to safety. I
was just going to say, Jiu keeps being left alone in the mid lane. Feels like he's in this vulnerable spot, but Lehens was like, I think keyboard's pretty high, mouse is pretty high.
I think, yep, like desktop, like the actual PC.
Yeah, that's
probably pretty high.
Pretty important as well.
Yeah.
Headphones probably, with regards to everything else we've said, probably actually pretty lower.
Yeah, I'd say lower.
Yeah.
Public execution, actually, Kingen almost looked like he decided to walk into it there, as he could see. He's gone a little bit all out, but not going to really be doing too much more of anything. And I think that the weathering of the storm that the K'Sante does kind of have to do into the Ambessa matchup has been done.
I'm not saying this was the case here, but I do feel like sometimes players give the vibe that they think it works like the Oner ult, and they have to like block it, or like they think that they can ult and just dash to that.
Yeah. And that was actually like my thinking. Based on his movement, that's what I thought he was trying to do.
Yeah.
Whereas otherwise it does just fizzle in Ambessa's case.
We have sometimes seen players use it for like the extra passive dash, you know?
Yeah.
Or for the buffer when you're casting it, you get like.
I think I made fun of a player for doing that, but then they did manage to actually escape a situation just by ulting so that they can dash.
Yeah, and also like there's sometimes you can, but like in this situation, if like Galio's gonna taunt you, you can ult and then immune the CC.
Yeah, the unstoppable part is very, very cool. But that was a little bit less.
Yeah.
As Doran just uses it to taxi a little further away from Kingen. Works out quite well. It's just a trade of ultimates. We've seen this many, many times. The level 11 is hit in unison here between our top laners as Gideon finds Keria, but Oner is lying in wait. There is the combo as Lehens can just gobble up to Viego. Gumayusi coming on over. Dawning Shadow comes in. The shield is there, and this Tahm Kench is so tanky. Down goes the Viego, though. And the Tahm Kench is just on a silver platter, surrounded by T1 members. And that was not the fight NONGSHIM were looking for that time, as Kingen had teleported in, and now he is likely to just get sent home in a body bag. Not quite able to flash out of the way, but still having to use everything to just try and escape. And what happened?
I'm not really sure on the thought process of that play from NONGSHIM. There are just so many things wrong with it.
They're getting the play out of the way instead of it being a game-losing one at the end.
Yeah, something like that. But I mean, T1 are just so quick to respond, so quick to punish, unsurprisingly.
Yeah.
But NONGSHIM just kind of give them a freebie. Like, Gideon goes in super aggressively for no real reason. He's like, oh, I can go for a trade on Keria. Kind of gets hit by everything. And then doesn't ult out. Like, I feel like most times you would just expect him to ult away here. And instead they use the gobble from Tahm, which now puts like your center in a vulnerable position. And I feel like he could have just ulted away, but then they end up gobbling because he got feared. But now, like, why are they positioning so aggressively after this? Like, Lehens is running forwards, Jiu ends up in a really bad position.
There's his death to Doran, though. So
yeah, there you go. That. I think maybe like the ult from Nocturne kind of hid the TPs. Well, sorry, the TP from Doran and the move down from Faker, but it just...
Maybe they thought that Galio might sometimes be involved. As Kingen has found Oner, he goes all out, actually, as Faker will turn up. Kingen will get shockwaved as well, as now he's just possibly in trouble. But he'll get healed up by the Piercing Darkness. Keria comes over. There is the Tempered Fate. Will connect onto Kingen as he eats a lot of the CC. Redemption going to be doing a fair bit of damage as well, as Oner is sped up by the Dissonance. Man, didn't know that was part of the combo. As they are going to be able to get the stun. There is the public execution as well, and it's Doran that uses that as a way to taxi over to Jiu, who will get shielded up. That is everything that NONGSHIM had just to keep 3 members alive. Curtain's getting cold here, as you can see Gumayusi fishing for it. Lehens will get stopped on the back, and you can see that Jiu is out of range, so no need to worry about that one. Calyx continuing to be in a different lane.
Oh, here's the test. Can he get down to the bot lane?
All right. Will the drift Oh, that was cool.
Oh!
That was gorgeous.
There we go. Slick with it.
Yep. Can actually provide a magical journey for Faker as well, so that Faker can experience exactly what Keria just did on that journey to the bottom lane.
I mean, this game is going... I mean, that is testament to how T1 are feeling. That entire passage of Keria just driving bot, giving the journey out. Yeah, so I don't really understand the thought process here. King just starts a fight by himself. And then he has no MR, so when he gets shockwave by Faker, he nearly dies immediately. And then they're like trying to bail him out. It just feels like people in NONGSHIM are starting fights randomly, and then the whole team is trying to bail them out.
Yep.
And then they just die.
Yep. It's like they have something that they really want to do, but they're spending their entire time just at the police station paying bail money.
Yeah.
Without being able to actually do anything that they really needed to do, you know? As, all right, Paranoia has been popped here as it's another fight. Doran taking a little bit of damage. The redemption down here for T1 just to try and keep them alive as Kingen is dead. But NONGSHIM, not quite...
he didn't need to do that.
He did not need to do that, but it was sometimes rush of blood to the head. I mean, I remember seeing a similar play to that relatively recently, but that's just a Doran Ambessa.
Yeah,
you got to take the good with the bad.
He was so out. He couldn't have been more out.
Yeah, and then it couldn't have been more in.
And then they get him back in. It's just one last job.
Yes, well, it was... Maybe he thought NONGSHIM deserved it.
That's fair. To be fair, G was being given him some freebies this game, so...
Yeah. I think we need to involve Calyx in some of the plays that are happening around this map. As Gumayusi is going to be able to shove this wave in. Will be answered here by Calyx pretty comfortably. And NONGSHIM do have, like, there is the scaling conversation to be had, right? They're only 2,000 gold behind. It's not the end of the world. The problem is, if T1 continue to build leads and then turn that into dragons, Hextech Soul too scary.
Problem is, I think if NONGSHIM just keep doing what they're doing, it doesn't really matter.
That's true, they won't win.
Yeah, they just need to... It's just weird because game one was not this. Like they obviously.
Well, the start of this game wasn't this either. As Keria's going to flash, journey over into the pit. He's going to be fine.
Yeah, it happened after the pause, right?
Yeah, it did.
And hence is the shock caller. So are we sure that they actually
need to turn his monitor back on?
They need to turn it back on. Something's gone wrong since then.
I think it's better when he plays off Giu's monitor.
Yeah, it's kind of a little bit askew. Now they are setting up for this. Setting up the river. Adakan is on the bot side, so they're trying to contest some of the vision here. But it's pretty hard to move in when there is the threat of that Nocturne.
Yep.
And Doran is just going to kill this turret.
He's going to try to anyway, as the taunt does come down, so he's not able to kill it on this wave, but it's basically dead. And you've got Keria lying in wait. Adakan's moving over as well.
Been up for 30 whole seconds, and it's a little bit late for T1, I feel.
Yeah, let's chill. As Shockwave connects onto 2. Adakan down to 50%, teleport in. Here from Doran, the answering teleport is going to result as Calyx can make his way down. There's the Paranoia. Dawning Shadow doing decent damage, actually, as now the Galio comes in. It's a one-man taunt, but it's onto Gumayusi as they do manage to take the Adakan, and the magical journey brings them all out. Follow that! Do never follow that! Instead, it's a heroic play from Lahans that gets over the wall, and it is going to be Keria that goes down. Abyssal dive here as Lahans. He's like, man, do I have to do everything myself? And the answer is absolutely. Another public execution there for Doran onto himself.
Well, they managed to get a couple of kills. I really thought Calyx had just gone to his death there, but...
You could sense the frustration. You're like, how dare you get away with this, T1? And so he clicks the button, and we all knew it was the wrong thing to do. Lahens most of all, who has to then flash after him with the gobble.
Yeah, I mean, this was just so hard to push through this choke. So much damage done. The Nocturnal really just sways them pretty effectively. And then they're so low on HP. It feels so frustrating for them to... Oh, no.
Well, Lahens gets a little bit scared, looks to try and dive away. Heroic Entrance is going to be there this time as, my God, he survives for so long. Oner is probably dead here as he looks for a target to try and taxi his way out of the way of, and there is a flash over. Paranoia on top of the Cassante to try and get himself out, but that is not going to work. So Oner will get shut down. The gold still extremely even.
I feel like it was really important that NONGSHIM got that kill on the Oner because I don't think they'd be able to handle it.
Yeah, I think the emotional damage.
I think the game would have been over, not in terms of any material or literal sense, but in a mentality sense. I think the game would have been over. Oh, Keria on the flank.
Yeah, you're going to be able to sidestep at least that deadly flourish.
He is barding so hard right now, and it's so... From a perspective of NONGSHIM, it's so irritating. I feel like so many of the recent plays have just been down to him on Bard.
I think it's disappointing for DNF fans as well because we saw some Bard play earlier today and it was different.
Oh, it most definitely
There was less Barding. And this is what we were talking about before. A good Bard and a not as good Bard. There is a very, very, very large and clear difference.
Yeah.
And it's a little bit rough. Whereas there are a lot of other champions that are just far more forgiving. Like Braum, you know, you can have a great Braum, but Braum will always be Braum, you know?
Yeah. Braum does Braum things.
He does. He puts up door.
As long as you put the shield up in the right direction and you just auto people and hit the occasional Q.
Yep. And as long as you're aware that you get resistances from W.
It does do that.
That's very important.
It also gives resistances.
Indeed. Yeah, that's what I should have said.
Sharing is caring.
Exactly. All right, NONGSHIM set up for this dragon in 30 seconds time. Lehens and Gideon in the area. Base skin Tahm Kench, I kind of love it. You know, it's got that real Oliver Twist vibe.
Oh, they are going to look for Doran.
Okay, well, they are probably just going to kill him as well, as he cannot publicly execute himself out of that one. And Gideon going to be able to lock down the kill. Doran really has had a little bit of a vacation moment towards the end of this particular game. That's going to even out the gold and also give NONGSHIM an avenue in to fight for this Drake.
It's a good pickup. He's down for 30 seconds. He should just be able to take it. And T1 decide to let it go, you know. It's only second dragon for NONGSHIM. They don't have the top lane available. They won't opt to do anything more on the back of this.
Perplexing. I think just wasn't aware that there were so many members of NONGSHIM over there ready to knock him down, but entirely sure. Oner is going to be able to answer with a bit of an eradication of the enemy jungle. Gromp going to be secured as well as this blue buff. But let's have a look at this play one more time. As, yeah, NONGSHIM were just kind of all here.
Yeah, was picking up the waves and hoping to go for a flank, and then realized immediately it was a bit too far forward.
Yeah, maybe had just a different idea of what the play was. Like, thought that it was T1 setting up for a play against NONGSHIM that were already in that river, but the dragon hadn't quite spawned yet, so it was just a little bit off tempo.
Yeah. And now T1 setting up around the Baron area and just trying to zone everyone away. They have don't have a ton of vision in the area, but they're denied vision in a really large area around.
Yeah, Lord Dom's completed here for Gumayusi as well. That's as second item. It's actually kind of crazy what he's built here. But
oh my
still,
god.
You can see does a lot of damage.
Walk up to the gym.
Yeah. Guma kind of built different on this champion.
You will have to press Q a lot. Oh,
Baker is just going to get ulted on here as Gideon comes over, flashes out of the shockwave. There's the paranoia, and the stun comes in, but down goes Gideon, and Faker, he's just baited them all in. Let's see whether Gio can make this one happen, but he has to sidestep the Tempered Fate. Oner is still chasing. Faker is still alive. The Dawning Shadow's not enough as finally the Galio will be able to secure the kill, but NONGSHIM have well and truly overextended at this point in time. And how many times does Faker have to do this for people to learn that you should not try to chase this man?
They fell for it. They fell for the bait. They try and collapse on a Faker. They think they have the numbers advantage, but the backup comes in force. And one after another, they fall apart. T1 going to get the Baron. Oh, Calyx.
He just kind of walks at them. He's been doing this all game, and it's impressive, the bravery.
You know what? That's solidarity.
Yeah.
He'll die with his team.
He will. He did.
He did do that.
We've got T1 going down relatively low, but they will be able to secure this Baron. If Doran dies to it, that would be very funny.
That would be very funny.
But it doesn't actually happen.
But you know why?
Sad.
You know why he doesn't die to it?
Because only Krugs can kill Doran.
Exactly. It's Baron, it's not Krugs. This was kind of tragic. Yeah, Lehens, I feel like if you read the flash,
if that Q had have landed as well, maybe like Faker is just dead then.
I was kind of following Faker. Faker got chased down here by Calyx, and Calyx didn't land the taunt but landed the Q. But what happened over here, because public execution and then the double stun from Keria, because Lehens had eat but didn't eat you, so I was wondering what happened, but that double stun from Keria was so good.
Man.
And there's my answer.
Yep, just brutal. The double knockback there from Kingen, not really going to do much of anything at all. So T1 pulling back this game. It's a 4.5k gold lead as well as a result. And this is slowly but surely falling to the wayside here for NONGSHIM, who, even in this game, there have been moments, right? It has felt, you know, like that rally, you know, the tennis, where the back and forths have been happening, but I feel like the ball is well and truly out of court at this stage for NONGSHIM. As T1 pushing down with Baron, they are very, very good at using this buff. It's their favorite thing, as we know. And Guma just a few bullets. The last one in the chamber here, as we can see, as he does cleanse. That is a cooldown that they do need to be wary of, but the curtains are going to get called here. And down goes this inhibitor turret. There's the shockwave combo. They find it. The bullet's going to ring true as well. Deadly flourish. My God, Gumayusi. Do not give this man the Jhin or the Varus. And they did both in this series. As Kingen's going to go down. And once again, you might blink and miss it. As T1 will just close out this game number 2. And my goodness, what a week for this team, taking down Gen G, going from strength to strength here with a swift 2-0 over NONGSHIM, feeling like they're back here in round 3.
I feel like NONGSHIM had moments in this game in the last